Welcome to Timer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. Today we are testing the new Storm Revenant. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, the Revenant looks like a suitable replacement for what was a really good option in the Spectre. Alright, I'll start by getting out of the way the fact that I hate the reactor gloss finish, and we've chosen to stop testing any of these balls out of box, so we immediately scuff the surface with 2000 or 3000 pad lightly. On a separate note, we may consider a full resurface for all reactor gloss balls moving forward, as I think that finish makes these balls so smooth with no underlying grit. Anyway, so here we have the Revenant, basically a Spectre with new colors. I've really liked the R3S cover for quite some time, going back to the snap lock. It's strong but smooth and kind of creates a reliable, boomy shape typically. And I called the Spectre Marvel-esque, if I remember correctly, and I would say that the Revenant is, same deal. It's maybe a bit too clean, as I mentioned, but has the nice reliable response down lane. I really feel that a resurface would make this ball magical. As is, there is a touch of skittishness, even with a little bit of surface. But despite that, I really enjoyed the shape and reaction overall. I felt like I had some options in terms of lane play. I wasn't trapped in a small zone. The touchiness of the cover, maybe plus my rustiness after hip replacement surgery, made the deep shot pretty touchy, or touch and go. But second to third arrow zone really was comfortable. This is a pretty clear mid-late ball for me, and I've recently talked about this crowded space from the Storm family, but more on that later. Tyler was next, and aside from the first few shots trying to find something, he quickly found something, and once he saw the shape and hit, his eyes got bigger, and it got easier to throw the Revenant. Again, length is not a problem here, and in some ways, we probably still want some more grit and a bit less length to increase the predictability, and you'll see that if he hit it a bit, it really slowed down and went sideways. Now generally that'll happen, but it is exacerbated with a shiny ball and one with such low underlying grit. Now if you watch the Absolute review, you'll see that the trouble we have with a shiny ball, even with some scuff. But in this case, the vector core plus a bit more underlying strength chemistry of the R3S just makes the Revenant way easier and more predictable, even with the same finish. Tyler was all smiles, and it was working. And we tested a lot of balls, and he did like the overall shape of the Revenant. It would also fit in mid-late for him. Brian is last but not least, and what do you think he felt? I can tell you he enjoyed the Revenant just as much, if not more. He started a little deep for it, but the light hits carried, and he squared up a little bit. But same deal in terms of length as you would expect, and in a similar way to the Absolute, he can straddle the oil dry line of the cliff and somewhat take that out of play, thus allowing the ball to turn over nicely down lane. It's nice, predictable, reliable, strong arc to the pocket. The Revenant was a little more continuous than the Absolute, as the core didn't expend so much energy standing up, and so that gave him a little bit more room. Yes, it's on the weaker side, and he did see it as a bit less than the Marvel, but close in shape. And like I said, he had a little bit of missed room in both directions as well, which was fun. Let me wrap up with my final thoughts. The elephant in the room is where this fits in the bag. Honestly, I'm bewildered by the amount of balls I could slot in the mid-late category right now. Remember, this is the cleanest thing in your bag that is for light volume or later in the block as patterns break down. That's what mid-late is for. And in a simple 6-ball bag, simple quotes, you only need one mid-late ball. If you know your house and these come into play frequently, maybe you have 2 of them, I don't know. But so now you have the Revenant, Fate, Night Road, Phase 5, High Road Pearl, Dark Code, Absolute, Electrify, Hyped Pearl, Hustle Wine, Wolverine Dark Moss, Burner Pearl. I mean, those are just from the Storm family. So of course they are not all the same, but shiny, they are all in one crowded part of the bag. What I can say is I feel comfortable recommending the Revenant as a solid option in that slot.